Oshkosh Community Media Services is government programming on City Cable 10, community programming on CATV 2, and community radio on 101.9 FM WOCT Oshkosh.
This is Oshkosh Today, your connection to events and organizations in the Oshkosh area. Oshkosh Today is supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 Northwest Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard.
Hello everyone, and thank you for spending some of your time with us and tuning into another exciting episode of Oshkosh Today. On the program this time around, we cover why we should all be walking April 27th, where you can relax while sipping some fine wines, how to take in great tunes, hit the bike track, and celebrate the birds, all while doing so in style. First up, I'm joined by Jenny Westner. Jenny, thanks for being here.
Hi.
First, would you just talk about the walk that you're doing and you know, when it is, where it is, those types of things.
This is the Oshkosh's third annual Chester Markle 5K Suicide Awareness Walk. It's on April 27th at Oshkosh North High School. It starts at 7:30 in the morning with registration, and we start walking about 9:15, maybe 9:30, depends upon how long people start talking and that kind of thing.
And you said it's a suicide awareness walk. I mean, why was it decided upon to do a walk to raise funds, if you will, for suicide awareness?
Because suicide is a really big problem in Winnebago County. It's a huge problem across the United States. In Wisconsin, actually Winnebago County has one of the highest suicide rates in Wisconsin. So we decided that this is one thing that needed attention, and we just did it.
And who is involved typically? Because this is the what year that you've been doing this?
This is the third year.
So who's been involved in the past, and maybe who's going to be involved additionally this time around?
Okay, I'm the walk chairperson. Then I have Liz Zimmerman, who's the walk co-chair, and then Kim Lewis is also a walk co-chair. And Chester Markle will be there. He'll be doing some speaking. Jerry Burke from Channel 2 a long time ago will be the MC. We're going to have a lot of people from the community, such as Catalpa Health will be there. We'll have NAMI, which is National Alliance for Mental Illness. We'll have a gal there with donuts feeding everybody. We'll have stuff from Festival Foods, and a lot more than that actually in there.
Outside of the walk itself, what other things are going on as people are there participating in the event?
We'll have a balloon release at the beginning of our walk, so we'll be preparing people with that. Everybody will have their own little bag, and they'll be able to go around the whole entire area in the gym at North High School and pick up goodies from the different booths that we have there. Community for Hope is another one that we have. That's one of our big sponsors. Let me think some other ones. Harmony Cafe, which is one of the cafes up in Appleton. Christine Ann Domestic Abuse Center. There's a whole bunch of them. It's hard to name them all.
In the past couple of years that this walk has been going on, how many people have attended, and maybe what kind of numbers are you expecting this time around?
Yeah, the first year we had about 150 people. Second year we had 300, and we actually quadrupled the number, the amount of money that we made the second year, which was awesome. And all that money went to Community for Hope of Greater Oshkosh, which is our suicide awareness prevention organization in Oshkosh. And this year we expect probably between 300 and 500 people.
What that's a pretty impressive number, especially for, you know, like you said, it seems like the numbers kind of keep growing, and obviously that can only mean bigger and better things for the walk. But what are some of the things that you envision or you would like to maybe personally see come out of this particular event this time around?
Well, our main goal is to make sure that we bring awareness to our community about the problem of suicide. And it's such a problem that we need to actually educate people about suicide and the signs and symptoms of suicide and what causes suicide. And some of the things that cause suicide, we know for a fact, is depression and mental illness. And by that, 90% of those that have died by suicide have actually been diagnosed with a treatable mental illness. So it's either depression or mental illness. That includes anxiety, OCD, those kinds of things, among others. And they're very easily treatable once they're identified. So if we can give them the resources, teach them the signs and symptoms to look for both depression and suicide, then that's what our goal is.
From what you know about it, is it sometimes hard to, I mean, you say the symptoms are there, but is it sometimes hard, from what you know or the research you've done, do sometimes people mask those symptoms? Like, you know, you might be depressed, but you might put a smile on your face to kind of mask that. I mean, how would you go about establishing or determining if something like that is happening?
Right. It absolutely, that's true. Some people can mask that, and they like to make sure that everybody thinks that they're happy all the time. But in fact, there's other signs and symptoms of depression, and that would be like staying in your room a lot, not taking a shower, not eating decent, being very anxious, being very, very sad and hopeless, feeling like there's nothing, no place to live or nowhere to live anymore. All those kinds of things, giving away your belongings, things like that.
Outside of the depression symptoms, what are some other symptoms that those who, I guess, maybe are thinking about committing suicide, what symptoms are they showing outside of just maybe depression?
Well, severe depression, severe mental illness, hopelessness, feeling like there's just no way to get out of their situation. Drug and alcohol play a large part in suicide as well, so we try to focus on that. Some of the other symptoms of suicide are giving away your prized possessions, telling people that you actually want to die, and that's one of the things that we focus on too. Is it's not hard to ask that question. Like you say to them simply, "Do you want to hurt yourself, or do you want to die?"
Right. So if someone is depressed, if someone is suicidal, let's say that their reaction or their answer to that question is yes. What can you do as a friend, a family member, a loved one to really help that person either get help or help them yourself?
Right. It's very easy, actually. The first thing is to get yourself educated about the signs and symptoms of depression and suicide. The second thing is to make sure that you stay with that person. You ask them how they're feeling, how they're doing, what they think about what their day is like, and if they feel like they might take their life, if they feel like they're worthless and they don't want to be here anymore. And then you call the appropriate services, which would be police or the crisis line.
Do some people kind of worry about, well, you know, at times does it seem like some people might worry about, well, I don't want to call the cops because I don't know how they'll react to that. They might think I'm betraying them to a certain degree. Does that ever come into the picture?
Well, they're more afraid than anything, and a lot of times they're afraid that the cops are going to put cuffs on them, and that's not the case. We have a nice group of police officers that actually are trained in crisis, so they can be called when those situations arise, and then they question the people and the family members, and then they can take that into their hands and direct the people to the right place. Instead of going to the jail, which is where they don't belong, they then end up in a hospital if they are in fact suicidal.
I know that you know, a lot of times when people commit suicide, that's what people will say. They'll refer to it as so-and-so committed suicide, but that's not necessarily the terminology that you want people using, correct?
Absolutely correct. We never say commit suicide. Committing suicide, when you say that to someone, or you say that to anybody out in public, that sounds like a crime has occurred. And we certainly want to reduce the stigma by not saying committed. So we have changed the verbiage on that, and what we say is died by suicide or took their life. So it's really important to say that so people realize it's okay to ask for help. You didn't commit a crime. There's nothing bad that happened. You simply have a mental illness or a depression that is easily treatable, and we can get you the help really easy.
All right, well, thank you for being here. And for anyone who wants more information, just to double check this with you, OshkoshSuicideAwareness.com is the website, correct?
Correct.
All right, well, it's time for a break, but when we return, a lot of people will soon be sipping a lot of wine. We'll tell you how you can join in the fun next.
your passion? The arts, education, environment? Is it youth issues, women's issues, economic development, or scholarships? For 75 years, the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation has been helping people like you make a lasting difference in the community. For ideas that can help you, your heirs, and your community, visit our website or call 426-3993.
I am a teenager.
I am online.
I enjoy sharing thoughts,
Music. Videos.
Ideas.
Information.
I will not
be a victim to threats.
to stalking.
To soliciting.
To predators.
I will be responsible.
I will be careful.
I will be honest.
I will be smarter. I would get my parents involved.
I will protect myself.
I will be safe.
I am a teenager.
And I
And I
Will not.
be bullied.
Welcome back. There's an old saying when someone is complaining, would you like some cheese with that wine? Well, no one can complain about this next event up for discussion, but they can get that wine. I'm joined now by Tracy Ogden. Tracy, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So tell us about Wine Feast. What is this event all about?
Wine Feast, it has been around for over 20 years. It's a great opportunity to get a great night out, have over 200 different kinds of wines, food samples from our best restaurants in town, and see everybody you know. And at the same time, support the Boys and Girls Club.
And when is, before we get into when the event is, why was it decided, I guess, or determined to support, to have the proceeds or part of them or whatever it is, to support the Boys and Girls Club?
This event, originally we had a wine event at the Boys and Girls Club, and Rotary also had a wine event. They decided to combine forces for about 15 years, and now Rotary's stepped back and focusing their efforts on Battle on Bagel, and so now it's 100% Boys and Girls Clubs.
Okay, great. So you mentioned over 200 wines?
Over 200.
Now, where are these wines coming from? What parts of the country? And I mean, are these wines that you are typically seeing in your local grocery store, or are they, I guess, more select wines?
It's both. We have wines from all across the United States and then all across the different countries. There are wines that you'll walk in and say, I absolutely recognize these on the different store shelves, and then you'll get the opportunity to try things that you might not otherwise get to see.
I just saw it pop up on the screen, but tell us when and where this event is going to be taking place.
It's Saturday, April 27th at the Oshkosh Convention Center.
Okay, and I see that on there, Wine Feast says from 7 to 10, Cellar Select is 4 to 7. So what is Cellar Select?
Cellar Select is a 5-course dinner and wine pairing that takes place before General Wine Feast. That is a $125 ticket, and those sold out about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and what kind of, how long has this event been going on for?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years, and what is from the people who maybe not are necessarily the returning clientele, if you will, but the new clientele each year, what kind of have feedback have you gotten, and maybe how have you incorporated that into making the event even better, year by year?
We try to have a lot of different things for a lot of different tastes. Besides the 200 different kinds of wine that you can try, we also have beer and specialty beers. There's non-alcoholic. Caramel Crisp comes in and does desserts and coffee. Not to mention then our restaurants that are there, that do hors d'oeuvres and food samples. So, I mean, you walk in, you receive a Riddell wine glass when you come in with your ticket, and then you get to just walk around and eat and drink all night. And also Janet Planet performs during Wine Feast, and she's fantastic.
I know I mentioned it and kind of teased it a little bit in my intro, but is there going to be cheese with the wine?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And what about any sort of chocolate, those types of things?
Well, Caramel Crisp will be there with desserts.
Great. So for those who maybe are a little bit unfamiliar with Boys and Girls Club and all the things that they do, you said that this event helps sponsor them or not sponsor them, but helps fund them to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
What do Boys and Girls Clubs do for this community?
The Oshkosh area is extremely blessed to have a Boys and Girls Club that's 43 years old. We're very embedded in the community. We right now serve over 4,200 kids between our club on the corner of Parkway and Broad, the 7 after-school sites, and then we have an outlet club in Berlin. Those kids can come to our club every single day after school and every non-school day, including snow days. We serve dinner every night, or we serve breakfast, lunch, and snack on non-school days. They can get help with their homework. They can play baseball, basketball, have fun with their friends. We have a wet hair program, which allows our kids, if they needed a shower, clean clothing, hygiene products. And this costs our kids $25 a year to become a member.
Okay. Now, going back to the actual event itself, Wine Feast, I know that there's also going to be some raffles involved. Tell us about some of the raffles that will be going on during the event.
The biggest raffle of the night is obviously our grocery raffle. And these are pre-sale tickets also, so if it's something that you can't make Wine Feast, but you'd like to help out the club, we're giving away, top prize is $2,500 in festival food cards, which can be used at any of the festival foods across the state. Second prize is $1,000 in BP cards for gas, and the third prize is 2 tickets to Sellers Select next year, and $50 to the restaurants that participate in that.
Lots of good raffles.
Absolutely.
You mentioned, I know a little bit earlier, Janet Planet. What type of music is Janet Planet providing for the event?
She is all about jazz, and she is amazing. She performed last year for the first time. It was such a nice addition to the night. I mean, people can walk around and talk, and then they can grab a glass of wine, go sit down, and really just enjoy her music.
Who sponsors the event?
First National Bank Fox Valley is our presenting sponsor this year.
Okay. And final question for you, because I think we've covered a lot of ground, but for those people who are interested, I know you said the Seller Select tickets are sold out, but general admission tickets, I'm assuming, are still available. So how do people go about purchasing those, whether it's online, contacting someone via phone, stopping by?
Absolutely. You can do all of that. You can come to the club and pick them up. You can go on to our website, which is bgco.us. You can go to our friends over at Festival Foods. They are selling Wine Feast tickets and raffle, along with the Blue Moose stores and First National Bank Fox Valley, Oshkosh, and Neenah. All
right. Well, it sounds like a fun time, and thank you for sharing with us all the details.
Thank you.
Time to bounce to another break. Next, the Friends of CP and ARC fill us in on how we can cruise in style. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Mayor Bergtauer, and I'm asking for your help. The city has several boards and commissions that play important roles in just about every aspect of local government. Whether it's the Parks Board or the Landmarks Commission, these and other boards act as a forum for citizens to address their concerns and questions about Oshkosh city government. The boards also provide members the opportunity to make positive suggestions to the council or city staff to move the city forward. So here's where we need your help. For our city to work effectively, we need active citizen participation. Many of our boards and commissions currently need members. We're asking for just a few hours of your time each month to serve on one of our boards or commissions and help to ensure a strong democratic process. So please consider serving on a city board or commission. For an application, visit the city website, stop by the city manager's office in City Hall, or call 236-5000. Thank you for your interest, and we look forward to your possible involvement.
Welcome back. No matter what you do in life, make sure you do it in style. Carlene Christensen, my next guest, can testify to that. And Carlene, I understand you, like the rest of my guests so far, and that will follow you, have an event that you'd like to share with us. What event is coming up through the Friends of CP and ARC?
I do. The Friends of Cerebral Palsy and ARC would like to invite you to our upcoming Magical Evening Style Show, Thursday, May 9th.
Okay.
At the Convention Center in Oshkosh. It's a fun event. It's what every woman wants. There's shopping. It starts with shopping. Then there is a wonderful dinner, style show, and of course more shopping. And we have stores from the surrounding areas that will be setting up boutiques in the convention center. And they'll be starting at 3:30 in the afternoon before the style show and before the dinner. And will have their scarves, jewelry, clothing, purses to sell.
So just in case everyone missed it, there's shopping involved.
There is shopping before and after.
All right. Now, how is this year's event? Because this event has been going on since when?
Oh, this has been going on for at least 15 years or more.
Okay. So how is this year's event different or more unique or better than some of the previous events that have taken place in years past?
Well, it's a magical evening.
And what makes it magical?
Each table will have a magic box on it.
Okay.
I can't go any farther on that. And there will be taping. The style show in the evening will be taped.
Okay.
And it will be played on your channel.
Thanks for the plug. It's better coming from you than me shamelessly plugging our station. So who sponsors this event, and is it a charity event?
The sponsor is Citizens First and WSH.
Okay.
Yes, it is a charity event. The proceeds benefit the Respite House in Oshkosh and Wautoma.
And do you know how that was determined on who the proceeds would be benefiting?
That's a good question. I would have to look into that one.
Okay. And how will the proceeds be used?
For different programs in Oshkosh and in Wautoma.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the style show. I mean, you mentioned some of the things that are going on, but kind of elaborate on, I know you mentioned shopping, what kind of vendors?
Okay, well, let me tell you, our vendors this year, it's actually going to be a lot of fun. It starts at 3:30.
Okay.
And goes from 3:30 to 5:30 with shopping. Our vendors this year are the same people that will be in the style show. They are Atomic Cats, Brooks Brothers, C.J. Banks, Dress Barn, Feminine Touch of Wapaka, Gilded Lily, Hamilton's Lady Apparel of Ripon and Berlin, a new one that we haven't had before, Ona by Design in Oshkosh, Only Her in Ripon, Reimer Jewelers, and Save Boutique in Fond du Lac.
Wow, that's quite the list.
It is, and we will also have a special appearance by Miss Oshkosh.
Okay. And when you say special appearance, what is she, I guess, there, is she just there to mingle, or what is she?
She will be in the style show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where, for those people that are interested in the event, where do they go? Who do they contact to get tickets?
Okay, they can call the Cerebral Palsy office, and the number there is 920-424-4071 or 1-800-261-1895, or they may visit our website, which is www.cpmideastwis.com, or they can like us on Facebook.
So you mentioned, I mean, obviously the part of the showcase of it is the shopping, but what other events or activities are going to be going on at the event?
There'll be a special top hat raffle,
okay,
which will be a lot of fun. And again, we have the magic box on all the tables.
Okay, and you can't reveal.
I can't reveal what's in them.
So what's the top hat raffle all about?
The top hat raffle are donations from all different stores in Oshkosh, vendors.
Okay.
And it'll just basically be, you can buy your tickets.
Okay.
Drop them in a top hat, and we will have a drawing.
For those watching and listening, what would you like to tell them?
I would like to tell them it's a fun event. If they've been to our style show in the previous years, you know you have a good time. If you've never been, give it a shot. We have a really good time, and the proceeds do benefit the Respite House in Oshkosh and in Wautoma.
Okay, well, I thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, up next, an event that will be music to your ears, literally. Don't go away.
It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. So listen. The most basic human need is to understand and to be understood. But most people do not listen. They listen with the goal of responding. In the word listen are the same letters that make up the word silent. It is through silence that wisdom comes. Focus on others in order to better understand their points of view. Speak your piece and listen. Visit the OshkoshCivilityProject.org and sign the pledge.
Do you have a spare hour and a half once a week to share your lunch break with a few special somebodies? Do you want to make a difference in someone's life and see immediate results of your efforts? The Meals on Wheels program could use your help to deliver meals to homebound adults within the city limits of Oshkosh. Routes are set up by neighborhoods and take about an hour and a half to complete. To volunteer for Meals on Wheels, contact me, Judy Ritchie, at 231-9520. Thank you.
Like music? Well, you'll love our next topic. Justin Mitchell and Dan Wolf are here to tell us all about the Oshkosh Music Artist Series. Guys, thanks for being here.
Certainly, thanks for having us.
So, first off, Justin, if you would, just tell us a little bit. This is a concert, correct? Tell us a little bit about this April 20th concert.
Sure, April 20th at the Algoma Club. That's over at 103 Algoma Boulevard. It's a benefit concert to help raise funds for Oshkosh middle and high school band programming. The concert's going to feature a blend of bluegrass and folk music. We've got 3 bands lined up: the Dead Horses, Seamus Fitzpatrick and the McNally Boys, and then Stephanie Check, who plays like an urban folk cello with a wonderful voice. So music, doors open at 6 and music starts right around 7:30. There's a full bar from the Algoma Club, and then as well as that, there is an appetizer menu from Manila Resto, which is right below the Algoma Club. It's a beautiful setting, candlelight, kind of an intimate musicians' night of sorts.
Sure. And Dan, you're part of the Dead Horses band. What kind of brought you guys into this event, or what made you decide to be one of the acts, if you will, participating?
Well, Justin asked us to do it, and we were right on board with it. We thought it was a good cause, and I went to the first event that they had in November, and it was a really fun event. Just the location alone is just a nice place to see live music, and we were more than happy to be a part of it.
And your group specifically, are you guys playing, do you play strictly your own music, or are you playing cover songs?
We do a blend, a variety. We have, we started out playing a lot of cover music. I think a lot of bands started out doing that, but over time we started writing music and just composing original music, and that's what we kind of want to go down. We want to go down that path.
Sure. Justin, talk about, you kind of mentioned that it's going to benefit, you said middle school and high school.
Yep.
How was it kind of determined? I know that this isn't the first year that this event is happening, but how was it kind of determined that was going to be the groups that are benefiting from this event?
Right. So we do 2 concerts a year, and each concert benefits a different area of local music education. We have some great sponsors that make it possible for all ticket sales to go directly to benefit music education. Hyde Music pays for our musicians, so we pay the performers. The Algoma Club donates the space and staff for free. Beckett's Restaurant pays for the majority of our print marketing. And then the Oshkosh scene kind of coordinates and facilitates the design work and kind of brings everybody together. As a result, all of our ticket sales, so tickets are $10, and you can get them at Hyde, at Beckett's, at Apple Blossom Books, and at Manila. They're $10 advance, $12 at the door, but all of that ticket sale goes directly to fund music education. Each concert we pick a different area. The bluegrass and folk theme we thought fit well with middle school and high school band programming.
Sure.
So we work directly with The band directors, they have a liaison right now. The Webster Stanley Middle School band director is the liaison, and we work directly with them to help fund needs that they have, whether it be instrument repairs, purchase of new instruments, or music equipment. One of the goals that we have for our programming is that we will be able to set up a scholarship fund for lower income or folks that maybe couldn't afford private lessons, but could really benefit for it. So it was a good fit. Kristen Mazarek with Hyde Music sets up those contacts with the school district. Our previous concert last November benefited the strings program, and we're going to be doing another concert in November, and that will be featuring local jazz musicians, and that will be benefiting jazz band programming.
Has the school district? I mean, what's their take on you putting on a concert to benefit schools or different programs within their school district?
Overall, the reception's been great. I mean, this April 20th concert, there's a school board member. Steve Dito is going to be emceeing the event. He has a passion for music and is a good fit. Our first concert in November, we had one of the strings instructors perform at the concert. And we're looking to take that a step further too. We want to develop programming where students are going to be able to perform at the event, maybe in some sort of unique fashion, like maybe as guest artists as part of another group performing. How wonderful would it be if the Dead Horses called up, this great young banjo player who's a junior in high school? That would be awesome. An awesome experience for them as well as for the community. The school district, I mean, it's a good cause, right? We're helping them raise funds in an area where funds are continually being tightened or cut.
Right.
The school district right now is going through a pretty substantial tightening of the belt, right? $3-some million in shortfalls, and so any sort of financial support helps. And I know that one of the main areas for need with the school district music programming is instrument repairs. And so we have a great relationship with Hyde set up to just basically set up a fund for them to be able to get their things repaired.
Dan, as a musician, who will be playing or partaking in this event, how beneficial is it for your group to go in there with other, local artists and whatnot? I guess from a music artist perspective, do you kind of watch these other groups and maybe pick up some different things that you think, oh, that guy's doing this with the guitar, or this with the bass, and kind of, incorporate that maybe down the road into your repertoire?
Oh, definitely. I feel some of the most prosperous things I pick up are from watching other musicians. And Justin's a musician as well, and I think he could maybe agree that just watching another band is a great way to learn. And it's being a musician, you analyze music, and everyone kind of analyzes it differently. But it's a great hobby to get in, and I'm glad we're part of an event that is helping students get instruments and fix instruments so they can play them, because that's important.
Absolutely.
Working instruments.
Justin, I know, shameless plug here, I know that we're putting together a program on WOCT 101.9 that is featuring some of the music from the artists that are going to be here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Certainly. One of the things, anytime you're bringing something new to the community, new that folks, they're not used to necessarily coming to this type of show, and the setting that we're doing for this show is somewhat unique. It's really what I would call a musician's concert, where yes, there's the full bar and there's the appetizer menus, but like I said, it's a historic building. It's a candlelit kind of intimate evening where the focus is on the music, and some folks in the community, or a lot of people, maybe haven't heard the Dead Horses or haven't heard Seamus Fitzpatrick, and so the idea sounds intriguing, right? A great cause, bringing people together in the community, in the school district, but I don't know if I'm going to like the music. So what we wanted to do was put together a preview show,
right?
And the folks here at WOCT have been wonderful. We did a recording of the show at Topsoil Studios, and it features 3 songs from each of the performing acts, and We have a little bit of voice talent with Ariel Smith and Kurt Stein. I mean, I think it's a great radio show. You can listen to it here, I want to say, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings.
Yep.
101.9 FM. You can also get it online. We have a great website, www.oshkoshmusic.org. Pretty easy to remember. There's a link for OMAS, Oshkosh Music Artist Series. OMAS Radio, you can click on it and you can check out the radio show online as well. And
sounds great. Well, thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate the time.
yeah, certainly, thank you.
Up next, we talk flips and tricks and good old-fashioned fun with Winnebagoland BMX.
It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. So listen. The most basic human need is to understand and to be understood. But most people do not listen. They listen with the goal of responding. In the word listen are the same letters that make up the word silent. It is through silence that wisdom comes. Focus on others in order to better understand their points of view. Speak your piece and listen. Visit the OshkoshCivilityProject.org and sign the pledge.
Hi, I'm Sue Ponick, and I've got 3 great reasons for you to support the Oshkosh Area United Way. We're cost efficient, number 1, with almost 90 cents of every dollar raised going to United Way agency programs. Number 2, your money stays local and directly benefits the Oshkosh community. And number 3, the United Way makes a difference. Last year, over 100,000 people were helped by 1 or more United Way agencies. We hope you'll agree. Giving to the United Way makes for a stronger community. Thank you.
You may have heard of it a bunch of times, but do you really know what it's all about? Beth Brewer and Kevin Chemnitz join me now to talk BMX. Thank you both for being here. Kevin, first off, if you would, just kind of rehash for people who either don't know or don't fully understand, what is BMX?
What BMX is, it's BMX bikes, pedal bikes. A lot of people think BMX is, like the supercross tricks and motorcycles, but it's two-wheel bikes.
Sure.
And you can either have a 20-inch wheel or a 24-inch wheel. And then the racing is in Oshkosh here. We hear from a lot of people that, well, we didn't even know Oshkosh had a BMX track, but we've been here for over 29 years in Oshkosh. We were at County Park. Now we're at the Winnebago Fairgrounds, just north of County Road Y and on Jackson Drive, just right off of Jackson. So there's a starting hill. You start at the top of the hill and you run 1 lap wide open over obstacles, and you can keep the tires on the ground or jump if you feel like it. So
okay, but is there any flips going on or any tricks with BMX, or not usually?
Some of our advanced riders do tricks while they're racing, but actually the fastest way to get around the track is to keep your wheels on the ground and keep pedaling. I mean, the main thing of BMX is you want to pedal as much as you can, get as much speed, and carry as much speed as you can. But there are tricks.
Sure.
And sometimes the tricks are intentional.
Where or who is your general clientele? Who usually shows up to participate in the races, the events, the things that are going on at Winnebagoland BMX?
The nice thing about BMX is that we have a lot of kids, from as young as 2 years old, and then the parents like to race also. So our clientele is from 2 years old to 56 years old.
Wow.
That's our range of riders right now that we have. So a lot of people bring their kids out to race, and all of a sudden the parents start racing. That's kind of how I got into it. My son started racing at 4, and I did a little bit of racing, and now I do a lot more volunteering. So it's always free admission. There is a fee, a $10 race or an $8 race fee, but admission is always free.
Okay, Beth, say I'm interested. I want to come out to the track. I want to try BMX racing. What gear do I need to at least get me going in the right direction?
Sure. The most important thing is we ask that the rider wear long sleeve shirts and jeans or some type of long pant. A helmet is obviously required, full face. If the rider does not have one, we have some out at the track for loan. And then flat shoes, kind of like a skater shoe or something, some type of tennis shoe like that, as opposed to on a hot day, flip-flops are not acceptable. And then bikes, if they have a BMX bike, they can certainly bring it and try it. We just ask that the reflectors and the chain guard be taken off. But if they're just kind of interested and want to try it out, most generally we always have an extra bike around that they can give it a try around the track.
Now, I know you said for gear-wise, long sleeve shirt and jeans. I'm assuming that's in case you take a spill to protect yourself. But I'm surprised you said jeans. Is there potential for a rider, their jeans to get caught in the chain as they're making their way around the track?
Sometimes, yes. In the event if they have a wider pant leg, we ask that they tape on the bottom of their pants so that it doesn't get hung up in there.
Okay.
As the kids get more advanced and into BMX, they get more of the gear like what you might see on TV with the long pant with maybe some sort of a brand name on it, and then a thinner shirt for racing on hot days.
And do you, for people who are just completely raw in terms of riding a bike or racing a bike, do you offer clinics to learn or even maybe improve upon your skill set?
We do. Our dates right now for new rider clinics are May 4th and May 11th. Those are Saturdays. They start at 9 a.m. And we have folks from the track who are more advanced riders doing the training. And certainly if someone has taken the course before and they want to do it again just to refresh, they're certainly welcome. The cost is $5, so very affordable.
Kevin, how long is the BMX season and what kind of awards are involved if you're racing competitively?
Right. We start racing on May 4th, like Beth said, and we go all the way to October 5th. And we practice. We have open practice on Mondays from 5:30 to 8 o'clock, and then we race on Wednesday nights. The registration is from 5:30 to 6:30. We race generally from 6:30 to about 7:30. It's only usually about an hour long. And then every Saturday we race, and our registration is from 11 to 12. We race from 12 to 1:30 roughly. So we always have open practice an hour before each race, and then like I said, Monday nights we have open practice. So.
Sure. Are there? What's the competition like for Winnebago Land BMX? Are there other tracks in the state, in the area, nationwide? What are we talking about in terms of numbers of BMX tracks?
Right, like in the state of Wisconsin, I feel that we're pretty lucky. We have 7 tracks in the state of Wisconsin, so that's a pretty good number. And there's a BMX track in every state in the United States. So you can, once you become a member of USA BMX, you can race our local track. You can race any track in Wisconsin, any track in the country. So once you become a member, you can go as far as you want.
And finally, Beth, as we're running out of time here, why would you encourage someone to come out and just experience it firsthand?
Well, certainly as a bystander or a parent, it's fun to watch. And for the kids, it's great exercise.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
When we come back, an event for the birds. Literally, it is. See what I mean next.
Hello, I'm City Manager Mark Roloff. Roundabouts are new to many of us in Oshkosh, so we have to take extra precaution when using them. Remember, safety is the key. Slow down. The speed limit in the roundabout is only 15 miles an hour. Avoid distractions. Focus all your attention on navigating the roundabout. Find the proper lane. Check out the signage leading up to the roundabout. Choose your lane assignment early and stay in your lane. Evaluate the situation. Take notice of what kind of vehicles are in front of you. Sometimes larger trucks need to take up both lanes of a roundabout. Think to look for pedestrians and allow them to cross when entering and exiting a roundabout. Yield to traffic on your left. You must yield to all traffic in the roundabout, and that traffic will be coming from your left. Again, safety is the key. Remember that word and what those letters represent, and your roundabout driving experience will be a smooth one. Thanks for your support.
need a good excuse to get outside? Oshkosh Bird Fest can help you out with that. Here to give us all the details on this year's event, Anita Carpenter and Dave Mistarek. Am I saying that right? Mistarek, okay. I knew I was going to mess that one up. It's a hard name, but anyways, Dave, what is Oshkosh Bird Fest all about?
May 4th. It's a educational day to celebrate the fact that the city of Oshkosh is part of Bird City, Bird City, Wisconsin, and it also to celebrate the fact that that day or near that day is the International Bird Migration Day, and that's a big event, and so we're celebrating the fact that Oshkosh is a part of Bird City, and we're trying to educate the families. It's a great family event, educating adults as well as children as far as the importance of our bird life in the city, and to try to promote and protect and to help people know about the birds so that we can help to protect them.
And when you say that Oshkosh is part of Bird City, what does that mean?
Bird City is from a large part dealing with the activities that the city has had in the past and continues to have to support basically bird education and bird life. Things such as the Sustainability Board, the many bird organizations in the city, the Zoological Society, the Oshkosh Bird Club, and many others. A lot of the activities dealing with the education part of it, to promote bird life, to promote the protection of birds. The Wyowash Trail, the other activities that goes like that.
Yeah. Anita, how did this event get started, and why, in your mind, is it important for people to maybe come out and participate in it?
Bird Fest is a fascinating day. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's a fascinating day. Bird Fest, we like people to learn about the birds. It's a fun day. We bird watch. We look at owls. We look at birds of prey. And it's important that we teach children, especially children, our natural resources. And Oshkosh and Winnebago County is a fascinating area for bird watching.
Absolutely. And what is Big Sit? I know that's part of the event.
I'm doing the Big Sit.
Okay.
Tom Zabel is also doing. We're competing. Big Sit is where you establish a 15-foot diameter circle, and you remain in that circle, and you count all the birds that you see. So we're going to be out there from 6 o'clock in the morning till noon.
Okay.
And we invite people to come down and join us. They don't have to come down for the whole 6 hours. They can come in, and we'll show them and identify what birds we're seeing. 2 years ago, when we did this for the first time, we had 40 species. So that's pretty good. Last year we had a lot of rain and wind, but we still got about 40 species. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And Dave, what other kind of special events or activities are planned over at Menominee Park during this event?
There's a lot of things ongoing. In addition to the bird sit, we have a lot of exhibitors that will be coming to show exhibits of different types of birds. We have a bird rehabilitator that's going to be displaying live birds of prey. We have a bird walk scheduled for that day, some bird banding where they actually net and catch birds and band them.
Okay.
We have a purple martin walk and a purple martin display. And a large part of it actually extends into the evening. Part of the gallery walk in downtown Oshkosh is going to be a bird theme. So there's going to be a falconer at the gallery walk, a large bird art exhibit for student art, bird photographs, more exhibits. A person's going to be there from the what do they call that? The
Migration?
the Great Migration to
For the
talk
whooping
about
cranes.
the whooping crane migration efforts and to support that. So there's a lot of educational things going on, and we're pretty excited about it.
Anita, going back to you now, I know you said that during the big sit you saw 40 different species of birds. What makes Oshkosh an attractive area for birds and maybe migrating birds?
All we have to do is look at the habitats we got around here. We've got the lakes, we got the rivers, we got the marshes, we got grasslands. Even farmers' fields are good. When we do our May Day bird count in Winnebago County, we average about 180 species that we count, and that's probably one of the highest numbers in the country.
Wow.
So it's really, we really live in a really special area for bird watching, and it's also a great migration corridor because of the lake. We get a lot of the ducks that are arriving. I just saw loons this morning, so it's just a marvelous, marvelous place to live and for the birding.
Finally, where can people go to find out more information or to maybe register for this event?
The Birdfest website is www.oshkoshbirdfest.com.
Right.
And also, you can like us on Facebook by tagging on to Birdfest.
Right. Okay. And we've been doing, and this year we've been doing a Bird of the Day quiz. So if you check on the website, we give a question, but we don't answer it until the following day.
Okay.
So we've had a different bird species each day. So check
Which
us out
was
on
developed
Facebook.
by Anita.
Sounds fun and sounds like a fun event. Thank you both for being here.
Very
Appreciate
fun.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, now it's that time again to focus on health with Ted Stefaniak.
This Focus on Health segment is brought to you by Aurora Healthcare.
Hello and welcome to Focus on Health. I'm Ted Stefaniak. Today we're at the Aurora Medical Center in Oshkosh, and we're going to be speaking with gastroenterologist Dr. Jeff Goldman. Now, if you have acid reflux or you know somebody who does, you're going to want to pay special attention because left untreated, it could lead to much more serious problems. Good to see you once again, Dr. Goldman.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about Barrett's esophagus. I think a lot of people understand what acid reflux is, but one of the problems that can come along with acid reflux is Barrett's esophagus.
That's correct. And basically, Barrett's esophagus is a condition that can occur both in men and women, although it does seem to statistically be more common in middle-aged males. And basically what it entails is chronic acid reflux over a period generally of many years that backs up into the esophagus. And basically the body, through more or less an adaptive response, converts the lining of the esophagus into a stomach lining. So that's basically what Barrett's esophagus is. And it can be very short segments as well as long segments. The diagnosis of Barrett's esophagus, because it's absolutely silent conditions, you don't feel it, there really are no other symptoms other than your reflux symptoms, and some patients have absolutely no symptoms, they're silent refluxers, so you can have it and not even be aware of it. So really the best way, and really the only way that you can diagnose this confidently, is to perform an endoscopy. That is an outpatient procedure that requires intravenous sedation. It takes perhaps 15 or 20 minutes, and it involves just lying on your left side while you're being monitored, using a flexible endoscope to examine the esophagus while you're sedated. And then basically what you come across is lining of the esophagus that looks like stomach lining, and that's the Barrett's esophagus. And then you can do biopsies, take tissue samples, and that's just superficial samples of that lining, and that will confirm under the microscope that this is a Barrett's esophagus.
And what is the biggest danger of a Barrett's esophagus?
Well, the danger that we all fear is that it can develop into esophageal cancer, and this is it's a somewhat rare but not unusual type of cancer. It can be very aggressive when it's diagnosed, and then the idea is to follow patients who have Barrett's esophagus and then re-biopsy this area periodically, what they call surveillance endoscopy, and you look for signs of what they call precancer changes called dysplasia, and it can be graded into high grade or low grade, but Be that as it may, once you find that, then you probably need to treat that. And prior to the past several years, the recommendations were to, if you found these precancer changes or you found esophageal cancer, it would involve removing a segment of the esophagus, what they call esophagectomy. But now we have techniques that this can be treated endoscopically through the scope.
Is there a way for a person to avoid getting Barrett's esophagus?
Well, I think certainly what you want to do is if you have gastroesophageal reflux disease, and that is basically reflux symptoms that occur at least 2 or more times a week, that you should not ignore those symptoms and you should get treatment for that.
And how about our diet? Can we try to cut down on the risk of this by just changing our diets?
Well, diet certainly is very helpful. You can avoid certain types of foods, fatty foods, spicy foods sometimes bother patients, things that are acidic, like tomato-based products, things like that. Caffeine, alcohol. You want to keep your weight to a moderate weight, and if you're overweight, try to lose some weight. There are studies that show that weight loss can also reduce symptoms of acid reflux considerably.
Yeah. What would be the treatment if we do end up with Barrett's esophagus?
Well, one of the treatments that is available is a procedure called the halo kind of procedure that we can talk about briefly. And basically, this is a procedure whereby you can go in again with the flexible scope, and then basically you apply a current, a radiofrequency current, that heats the tissue, and basically ablates or destroys the tissue, the inner lining where the Barrett's is, and then as it heals with a normal esophageal lining. And you do this primarily for the when you find the dysplasia, the precancerous changes. We also have the ability, if we find what looks like a polyp, the precancerous changes in the lining of the Barrett's esophagus, we can actually remove that during the endoscopic procedure, and then you can use this halo procedure to treat the remainder of the Barrett's esophagus. So the halo procedure, very briefly, involves, and you can put this in adjacent to the scope, and if the entire circumference, the lumen of the esophagus is involved, then you can use what they call the 360-degree device that goes in, and then this applies cautery at a specified and monitored temperature, and then it heats up the tissue and gets rid of the Barrett's esophagus. Sometimes it has to be retreated within a period of 2 or 3 months, and then you can also go back, and then as it heals, if you have other patches of the Barrett's, then you can actually treat the small patches with what they call a 90-degree device.
Right.
So,
and this is a special procedure that not very many people do around in this area.
That's correct.
And if a person, you said it's kind of silent, you're not sure, you're not going to really know if you're going to have Barrett's esophagus, at what point should a person seek out your assistance?
Well, if they have chronic acid reflux, if you've had it particularly for several years, and if you've had treatment that perhaps is breaking through and you're having symptoms despite your treatment, then certainly you should seek treatment for that. And then certainly if you're a middle-aged male who's had acid reflux symptoms for several years, 5 years at least or longer, then you should consider at least having a screening endoscopy, to check you for Barrett's.
All right, Dr. Goldman, great advice. Thank you once again.
Thank you. My pleasure.
If you have any questions regarding acid reflux or Barrett's esophagus, you can call Dr. Goldman here at the Aurora Medical Center in Oshkosh at 303-8700. I'm Ted Stefaniak, and we'll see you next time on Focus on Health.
This Focus on Health segment has been brought to you by Aurora Healthcare.
That's all the time we have for today's show. Thanks again to all of our guests, and thank you for tuning in. For replay times of this program, please visit our website, oshkoshcommunitymedia.org. OCMS is also on Facebook, providing you with program updates, city news, and more, so be sure to like our page to stay informed on the happenings around your city. This program is also streamed on WOCT 101.9 FM. We'll catch you all next time on Oshkosh Today.
Oshkosh Today was supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 North West Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard. To find replay times for Oshkosh Today, to be a guest on the show, or to watch online, visit our website at oshkoshcommunitymedia.org.